Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm just practicing some figure eight motions. And these figure eight motions that are generated in the hips are the basis of the spiral motions. And if you notice, they make a figure eight around both ball and socket joints of the hips. There's this figure eight motion that's with you when you're doing most anything, even walking. It's a natural way the body moves, back and forth, spiraling around. But the interesting thing about these motions is that we've also included the flexion and extension in the spine with twisting motions. So when the body twists, there is an extension. We're in extension. And then what happens when you come back around, the body goes into flexion. Extension, flexion, and when you put it all together, you've got the nice spiral motion, the nice figure eight motion, and this is the basis of all the moves that we're going to do. Let's begin with a review of the forward and back simple spinal wave motion. To begin with, the spinal wave motion begins and is totally controlled by the hips. Notice that the hips are moving from flexion to extension continuously. This pelvic motion is the driver that moves the wave motion up and down the spine. Go ahead and practice and feel the continuity of all the vertebrae moving up and down the spine in a connected manner. Be particularly careful to let the wave move through the neck. The head is bobbing up and down on the wave. You should have a nice, smooth flow up and down the spine, with the hip motion connected to the pelvis, flexion and extension, letting it be as smooth as possible, each wave being smoother than the last. Let's move on to the spiral motions. As you can see, the figure eight is the basis of all of these spiral motions. What we're going to do is allow the body to move in one direction until it won't go anymore, and then follow a curve or a spiral to the side and see where the movement will take you. In this instance, lean forward into extension, spiral around, tucking back to the center, moving forward again, spiraling to the other side. In this position, the ground supports you while you do the spiral figure eight moves. Remember that the moves are all generated by the pelvis. And in this instance, when the pelvis moves to the side, it makes a spiral motion to come back to center. You can do it with both legs together or one leg at a time. This spiral motion protects the lower back as the wave moves from the pelvis all the way up through the spine, through the neck, and the head follows. These spiral crunches are fabulous for building the abdominals, for anyone with back injuries, back pain, or just wanting to strengthen your back in general. You can also support the head with the hands clasped behind the head. As you spiral around, notice that the pelvis comes into tucking and extension sequentially. All of the moves should be continuous. Notice that there is a smooth sensation that you feel in the hips as they come around to both sides. These spiral crunches are an important move to do when you're warming up for spiral chi movement. In this position, you'll find it similar to the straight and forward back wave that you did earlier. The only difference is that you're adding a figure eight motion with the extension moving into the front of the shoulder and the flexion coming through the back of the shoulder. The shoulder spirals are interesting because they allow this spiral wave to move through the shoulders into the arms and the hands. You'll want to try this move on both sides because symmetry is important in spiral chi. Feel free to move to a standing position, resting an arm on a chair, a table, a counter, or if you're outside, a tree or a rock. The same principles apply. The wave begins in the pelvis, moves through the whole spine, through the neck, and the head follows. Feel free to switch arms, and notice that the wave moves through the shoulder all the way to the tips of the fingers and back down. Let's explore the movements of the hips in regards to the spiral figure eight motion. Extension coming into flexion. Extension, spiral around, flexion. Extension. Now extension, and the leg will spiral out this time. Note that there are two ways the leg can move. The leg can move out and up, or the leg can move in and up. Out and up. Feel free to switch legs. External rotation, internal rotation, external rotation, and internal rotation. Move to an all fours position, and from there begin the spiral motions, spiraling around, coming into extension, spiral around to the other side, spiral. And as you spiral around, remember the tucking motion of the pelvis is what brings you around. You're actually carving a turn from one side to the other. Now allow the knees to come all the way straight and allow yourself to come straight up, spiraling back into flexion, spiraling around, extension, spiral to flexion, up to extension. Notice that we'll be changing positions from time to time. We're trying to reinforce the same movement, moving up into extension, spiraling around into flexion, spiraling around, tucking, allowing the wave to move up the spine, through the neck and the head, keeping a continuous flow. You can move up onto a counter, a chair, and the same motion. Up into extension till you can't go anymore. The only way to go is to spiral around into flexion. Up till you can't go, then you spiral around to get back. Remember to tuck the pelvis. When you tuck, suck in the deep belly muscles. And this protects the low back as you come into tucking, flexion. Now you come up into extension. This is done up against a wall. Spiraling around. You can vary the speed. You can do it nice and slowly, feeling each vertebra moving around. Tucking, protecting the low back as you come around. Getting more fluid and loose on each wave. Let's move to standing back-bending spirals. These moves are a bit more challenging as the body is going into a bit of extension and then spiraling around. Extension, spiraling around into flexion. And note that when you go back into extension, only begin with as far as you can go comfortably. You'll have to work your way up to more severe angles as your flexibility increases. The principle, however, is the same. Coming up into extension as far as you can go comfortably, and then you spiral around, tucking the pelvis as you come back around. Note that you're in fetal position for a second, and then the wave to the other side, completing the figure eight. Note that each of the spirals becomes progressively more easy as the flexibility, the elasticity of the spine increases. Feel free to move to the knees and repeat the process. Extension, spiraling around, tucking. And note that the wave-like motion is conserved no matter what position we're involved with. There is a continual flow of energy through the spine, allowing the energy to move all the way through the spine, the neck, the arms, into the hands. The smoother you can get the flow of energy, the more beneficial. Now move to the back bending position and start off with slow hip spirals, moving through the shoulders and the hips, working your way up into a full back bending position. And without stopping, the spirals continue in small circular figure eight motions. Up, around, and up, spiraling to the other side. Start off again slowly, up, spiraling around, and up to the other side. Note that in this motion, it's difficult to get much of a tucking motion, so do the best you can. Now to forward bending spirals. Principle again is the same. Position yourself with the arms up against a counter or a tree, and the pelvis, once again, extension, spiraling around. Note that you're tucking every time you come around. In this position, you're going to get a very nice stretch on the side of the body, side muscles of the torso. You can move with one arm supported on the knee. You get more of a twist under the arm, moving back into the pelvis. Make sure that the wave is moving through both legs. The whole body is spiraling at every moment. Make sure that you have an equal pressure on all the tissues of the body as the spiral wave moves. You don't want to skip any vertebrae. The whole motion should move up and down the spine equally. Switching sides for symmetry. You can always do between 5 and 10 moves before switching to another side or another motion. Now you can have both arms free. This is a little bit more difficult as it takes some more support from the spine and the deep abdominal muscles. By now you should be getting a good sense of this spiraling around, the wave moving up the spine till you can't go anymore and then around. Moving on to triangular spirals, position yourself against a counter, a chair, or any type of outdoor support such as a tree or a rock. Principles again the same. This particular movement gives you a slightly different motion moving through the body. It opens up the hips in a little bit different way and involves the arms and the torso in a nice twisting spiral motion. Moving on to lunges. Lunges are a great movement because it integrates the spiral motions of the hips with the strong muscular motions of the lower legs. Position yourself with one of your legs up on a couch or a chair and begin the same motion of the pelvis, moving forward, spiraling around the hip, tucking back to neutral and going again to the other side. You'll be able to feel the spiral motions moving through your whole body, extremely activating the legs, the quads. And then when you're ready, switch sides. Always make sure that the spiral wave motion is moving up through the spine. See if you can get each successive spiral wave to be looser and looser. A variation is to move onto one knee and continue the same motion. Switch sides. This allows the lunge to go very deep into the hip, spiraling around, exploring all the surfaces of the hip. Another variation is to put one hand on the ground and support the other arm on the knee. Ask yourself, with each successive spiral wave, what could be more relaxed than this? What could be more loose than the one before? Remember to switch sides and continue to feel the spiral motion working deeper and deeper into your core. Position yourself with both hands on the ground between the legs and continue the same motion. Spiral squats involve both legs at the same time. The integration of the spine, the pelvis, the lower legs occurs very nicely with these spiral motions. Each spiral allows you to go down a small amount at each time while maintaining the integrity of your whole body. After you spiral all the way down, come up slowly, spiral by spiral, until you're back up to standing. Another variation is leaning back while you're spiraling down. This is a totally different way of working the fascial connections in the body. It puts a different type of opening and strain that you'll feel strongly in the shoulders and especially in the hips and in the knee joints. So as you spiral down, try and let the pelvic sling support all the weight. And once you go down as far as you can, begin your slow spirals coming up, one turn at a time, allowing the wave to move through the spine, the neck, and the head. The spiral moving through the shoulders, elbows and the arms. A more difficult variation is spiraling down unsupported. This develops a precise balance in the whole body. There almost are micro movements of balance as you spiral down into the squatting position. There should be no pain in the knees. If there are, only go down as far as you can comfortably. On the way up, feel your spine lengthening with each wave until you're up to standing. The last freestanding variation on squats is to support one of the arms on the knees as you spiral down. This gives you a different kind of opening in the obliques on one side of the body that's open. Move on to head spirals. If you have any neck injuries, please avoid this move. This move is the same basic figure eight. However, the interesting thing is that there is virtually no weight placed on the head. The head is suspended by the entire spine and is merely touching the ground, almost as light as a feather. That enables the head to spiral around without any major resistance in any area. What we're looking for is for the vertebrae to be able to spiral around, accessing all different surfaces of the joints. The first of the inverted spirals is a shoulder spiral. By placing your hands on the pelvis, you can initiate the figure eight motions with the legs. Make sure that the figure eight spiral moves through the whole body, moving your hands up the spine. Note that the weight is on the shoulders, and actually the spiral moves from one scapula to the other. Note that there should be a free feeling in the whole body as these spiral waves lengthen and open your whole body. Making sure that your neck is relaxed, continue the spirals one side to the other as you work your way up the spine. The weight again is on the shoulders as the neck is totally free. There is no weight on the neck. Allow the flexion and extension in the hips and the spine to move the spirals smoothly through all areas of your body. If you have a mat, you can get a bit more support by allowing the neck to flow freely over the edge of the mat. This allows you a little bit more lift. Make sure that you have a free, nice, easy feeling going through the whole body as these spiral waves continue to open and flow chi through the body. The last of the inverted moves are handstand spirals. Note that in this advanced variation, the front of the body is facing the wall. Allow the legs to spiral back and around, the pelvis coming back into flexion, the wave moving through the spine. and spirals moving through each of the arms. There is motion through your whole body. Move into a seated position, either on a couch, a chair, even in front of your computer. This is one of the more gentle ways to practice the spiral waves. Principle is still the same, leaning forward into extension of the spine, spiraling around into tucking, coming forward again into the other side. This is one of the more gentle and more meditative positions to practice spiral waving. You're able to feel a nice balance of the pelvis, each of the vertebrae as the wave moves through, the shoulder blades, the neck, and up into the skull. Notice that there is a nice balance between the upper part of the spine and the lower part of the spine. Find the balance between the right and the left sides of the body. See if you can feel a balance between the inside of your body and the outside of your body. All of these movements are spiraling around your central core, bringing you back into more balance with each wave. Make sure that you feel equal stretch on the front side of your body and the back side of your body. For an alternate position, curl one leg back and one leg crossed in front of you. As you spiral forward, you will feel a good stretch in the groin of the leg that's tucked in back. Switch sides. Feel the coiling and uncoiling of the spine. With each spiral, the internal fluids are circulated through the body, purifying with each spiral. Feel your spine getting looser and looser with each wave. You may want to try both legs crossed under you, or if you're flexible, lotus position. This is a nice way to do spiral waves at the end of your practice, or sometimes even in the beginning of your practice. And for people who have difficulty in doing any of the other positions, if you could just begin with these seated waves, you will get an incredible benefit to your whole system. Try and find the wave-like nature of your spine, allowing the energy to spiral and coil around, to regenerate and flow through once again. The seated waves are great to practice in nature, since it's one of the easiest spiral waves to do. Anytime you find yourself outside with a place to sit, feel free to practice these waves.